If you've been struggling to connect with your spirit guides, I'm going to show you why and show you a technique that will allow you to connect every single time. Hi, my name's August, and I teach people how to communicate with the spirit world without all the woo and mystery. So welcome to my live here today. I'm excited to connect with you all here and talk a little bit more about how easy it is to connect with the spirit world, how anyone can do it, regardless of your experience, regardless of whether you think you can or not, you absolutely can. And I've worked with thousands of people, and I haven't worked with one person that wasn't able to do it. Right? Now, that being said, I know that everybody connects uniquely. Everybody connects in a different way. Out of those thousands of people that I worked with, I've never met two that connected in the same way. So a big part of spirit communication is identifying your unique way of connecting. And so we're going to do part of that here today. And I'm also going to show you a technique to get started with as well. All right. So as you come into the live, just let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from and where you're watching. Let me turn my notifications off. There we go. Yeah, just let me know, shout out your name and where you're watching from. I'd love to connect. I'd love to answer questions. So if you want, you can go ahead and pop them into the comments. I will be checking it from here from time to time. But the way that I like to initiate contact with the spirit world, and I have found that this works very well for most of my students also, is to first get ourselves in the best feeling mood that we can, right? And another way of saying that is to raise your vibration, right? And that's the woo-woo side of it. But if we want to skip all the woo, it just means getting yourself into the best feeling mood that you can. Get yourself into the next level of mood, okay? And one of the easiest ways to do that I like to do is I like to call in the energy of excitement. And the way that you do that is you just simply think of a memory that or a time in your life that you were really excited. It really is that simple. There's not much more to it. And so you just recall this memory and you kind of fantasize over it and relive it in a way. And as you're doing that, you're going to focus on your body, and you'll notice that your body is starting to feel the energy of excitement, right? Now, from there, once you start to sense it and feel it, you want to actually talk to your body and give it permission to fully express the energy of excitement throughout your entire body. Once you do that, boom, it's going to rip through your entire being, and you're going to feel like you're right there again, re-experiencing it, okay? Now, when that happens, this is the perfect environment, the perfect energy to connect with the spirit world, whether it's your loved one, whether it is a pet, whether it is a spirit guide or any other energetic being that you want to connect with. Even if you're going to read another person, even if you want to work with your intuition, this is how the easiest way to start it off, okay, is to really get yourself in that good feeling energy. Now, from there, I like to do, we actually did this today in my mentorship group. I was working with some students, and we did what I call the outside in method. Now, for those of you that have racing mind, racing thoughts, this is for you. Those of you that can't meditate, right? I don't teach meditation ever, right? But especially those of you that have a difficult time meditating, this is going to be something that you can do in order to kind of quiet that racing mind so you can actually connect with the spirit world, okay? And so what I like to do, and again, I call this the outside in. And so what I like to do is just kind of focus on the room that I'm in, right? And just feel and hear and listen to everything that's going on. I'm listening for the air conditioning to start. I'm listening for the creaks in the houses. I'm listening for water running through the pipes, right? I'm listening for traffic outside of the house, right? I'm listening for everything, right? It literally is the opposite of meditation. I am not shutting anything out. I am focused on everything and every sound that is going on in the room that I'm in. Now, then I bring it a step in closer, okay? And then I want to feel what's happening in this room. All right, then I come back in another step closer, and I want to notice what my body is feeling in the room. What are the emotions? What am I feeling physically and sensations? Am I feeling the wind blowing on my arm? What does it feel like to have my clothes on my body, right? I'm bringing it in closer. Now I'm wanting to experience the emotions. How do I feel as I'm hearing all these things, listening to all this, holding all this? What thoughts am I having? And then I just let them run, right? The thoughts are like, oh, I'm experiencing this. I'm hearing that. This is what's going on. I'm thinking about what I have to do later on in the day. I'm thinking about the stuff that I forgot to do. I am listening and focusing and paying attention on all of my thoughts and everything else at the same time, right? I'm not trying to push anything away. I'm not forcing it, right? And so then once we get there and once we acknowledge everything that's going on, there's kind of like this moment that comes over us, right? Where at this point we want to invite our loved ones or spirit guides in, right? Because we're holding the energy of excitement. We've acknowledged everything that's happening around us. And then we can call in our spirit guides because we're hyper focused on what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and the energy in the room. So we call them in, or our loved ones, and you're going to feel them immediately. The energy of excitement shifts right away, and you start to feel their presence. And so you go from excitement to their presence, and that's where we start connecting. Right? That's where we start communicating. That's where you start having that flowing conversation because you're in the energy and you've created an environment that's conducive of it, right? We did that today in my mentorship group and there were some amazing experiences that were happening. Fully in the now. Yeah, I would even say, I would say, yeah, fully in the now is one way that you can explain it. I like to call it as well the opposite of meditation, hyper focused, hyper vigilant, hyper aware of everything that's going on. Fully in the now, I think, is a little more mystical way of putting it. Let me just grab my water real quick. And so there's a lot that goes on internally when we're communicating with the spirit world. And a lot of that goes unnoticed, right? As we're getting into this, even as we're advancing and you get to a place where you're actually connecting. And the more that we can become aware of how things are actually happening for us, the more that we can really understand how it unfolds for us and the deeper insights that we get into our unique way of connecting. And once you understand in great detail what your unique way of connecting is, because everybody is different, it's just smooth sailing from there, right? That's when you're connecting with any spirit at any time, whenever you want, instantly, effortlessly, without trying, without meditation, without any weird spiritual practice. You just go right into it. All right. It's that type of energy that you get into, but we have to uncover your unique way of connecting first. And that's why I tell people you don't want to follow some sort of a set of frameworks. If somebody's giving you frameworks, if somebody's giving you a course and saying, here, this course, if you do it right, you'll be able to connect. That's complete bullshit. All right. Because here's the thing. It's just a framework. It's somebody else's sets of rules and principles and frameworks. You work different, right? Yes, it may get you a little bit closer, but it's not going to get you to that place where you want to be, where you desire to be, that you don't even think is possible, but where you want to go, that is possible, right? Where you're connecting in a way that's undeniable without a doubt, okay? And so you're not going to get there by following any kind of teaching word for word because it's just different for you. And again, what I was saying is that it might get you a little bit closer. You might start to have some experiences, but you'll never fully get there until you discover exactly how it works for you. And so my suggestion is to really play with everything, right? That's what I did. For 9 years, I followed everything. I did everything that you're supposed to do in order to communicate with the spirit world. And it was just a grueling blood, sweat, and tears journey until I found my unique way of connecting. It took me 9 years to figure that out. All right. And, I don't want it to take that long for you guys. That's why I share this content. That's why I do these lives. That's why I want you to ask your questions. That's why I'm reading the comments. Your comments inspire my content. I want to share the stuff that I wish that I had when you are where you are, right? It's not designed for you to kind of piece all of my content together and say, oh, okay, this is how it all works. No, it's not. Each piece of my content is designed to help you start to discover how you connect and how it works for you specifically. All right. Or it also helps you discover the things that are specific to you that are holding you back. Just like everyone connects differently, everyone has different things that hold them back. All right. And connecting with the spirit world doesn't have to take you 9 years, right? It doesn't have to take you that long. Again, you could piece it together. You can go through all of these different things, or you can have somebody help you along that journey, right? And that's what I do in my mentorship program. I was just on, we just got off, we were working together as a group. But, I get a lot of questions about what we do and what exactly goes on. So, give me a minute just to explain. And I want to show you like what it looks like, right? When somebody discovers their unique way of connecting and how it changes everything, because it's the process that we go through. And I go through it every single session when I'm working with my students. All right. And everybody eventually gets it, right? It doesn't take long. But the way that it works is when I work with somebody, what I do is that first time we work together, I hold your hand and I walk you right into that undeniable experience, right? That flowing conversation that you're confident in. It's just, that it is real, it is vivid, it is amazing. I walk you right into that experience the first time we work together. All right. And what that does, it allows us to do is when we're working that close, is that I'm going to help you identify what your unique way of connecting is. We'll know what it is that first time. We'll also know exactly what's holding you back, right? What are the things specific to you that are holding you back, right? Out of the thousands of people that I've worked with, no two people connect the same and no two people have the exact same things standing in their way. So that first time we work together, we'll know exactly what it is for you and how you connect. All right. Now, with most of my students, it only takes them about 3 times working with me that closely, and then they've got it. They're able to go without my help and communicate and have experiences and do it on their own without anybody's help. And the reason that it works so fast is because the first time we do it together, you see what's actually possible. The second time that we do it together, you see that it's repeatable and that you can actually connect anytime that you want, instantly. And you also see that the first time wasn't some sort of an accident or a fluke, all right? And so you get your confidence the second time we do it. The third time we work so close together, what happens is I'm not really helping you at all. I may give you a nudge here and there if you get tripped up, but you're basically doing it on your own because you already understand your unique way of connecting and how it works for you. You know the things that are holding you back and we've already dealt with them. And you've already connected twice and done it on your own. So you know exactly how it works, right? And that's how it works. Now, we do have follow-up sessions and we do other things because once you're able to go and connect and do it on your own, there are going to be unique and specific things that happen to you. You're going to want to go deeper. You're going to want to take these things to the next level. And so there's a lot of other stuff that goes on, but that's the foundation of it. And that's really how it all works. So I hope that answers some questions because I read through my comments and there's so many questions about my mentorship program and I've been meaning to do a video on it to explain it. So here you go. It's live. Mark, hello. Bonnie, hi. Laura. Laura, yes, I can talk to spirits and I need some help. Well, I'm here for you. Ask your questions. I'm here. That's literally all I'm here to do today is help you guys talk to the spirit world. Been told that I'm clairvoyant. My sense of smell has heightened to remarkable levels in the past year. Yeah, that's one of the things that's, a lot of people discount our psychic sense of smell and taste, right? Those are two that can lead to a lot of information. Nancy, hi. Laura, hi. Ashley, hello. Carl, what's up? Wendy, hi. Paula gets the tingling sensation on my right side. Yeah, that's, so when we get those sensations, I like to call those things spirit radar. Because here's the thing. When our energy has a feeling, right? There's a feeling. We feel energy in the body, right? And it's not like this, ooh, I'm feeling energy and the energy feels off in here today. And it's like, woo, 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 this energy feeling, the energy feels this way. No, we feel energy with our body. It's the way that we're feeling energy is through the tingles, through the opening up and expansiveness, or the closing down and contraction. It's the wind blowing on the top of our head. It's the feeling the energy on our skin. It's the hair standing up. All of the tingles all over your body, right? Or on specific places, right? All of that is what I call spirit radar. And what's happening is you're feeling energy. All right. Those sensations let you know that you're in the presence of a spirit, because what's happening is that we're so used to our own energy that unless we focus on our body, we won't feel it. Right. And so, pro tip, if you want to feel your energy, just focus on your body and notice those sensations that you're feeling. You'll feel the tingles. You'll feel all of this other cool stuff going on in your body, but you've got to focus on it. But when you're in the presence of a spirit, their energy interacts with your energy and it feels different in your body. All right. And that's how you know that you're in the presence of a spirit. And that's why I call it spirit radar. What are my thoughts on familiar spirits? That's just religious nonsense. That only the familiar spirit thing only exists in the confines of religious belief and certain cultural beliefs. They call it something. Everybody calls it something different. Oh, so here's Laura asked a good question. Why do they try to get our attention when when you fall asleep? A lot of them. So basically, Laura's asking, why do they try and get your attention as you're falling asleep? So the reason that spirits try and get your attention as you're falling asleep is because they've been trying to get your attention all day. What's happening is as you fall asleep, your conscious mind relaxes enough to become aware that they are actually trying to get your attention. All right. So there's a couple things that you can do here. All right. Number one, you can say, go away. Now's not the time. I'll reach back out tomorrow. All right. The other thing is that you can just start connecting and making contact and talking to the spirit. Or, the other thing that I like to do is just kind of throughout your day, just feel into the energy around you and see if there's any spirits that want to talk. Right. And sometimes that's what it takes. That's a good question though. And a lot of the times it's very easy for them to connect with us because especially when we're in that in-between state, in between falling asleep and awaking, right? And awake. Our brain waves, there's something weird that happens with our brain waves where they kind of slow down and they settle down preparing for sleep. But as you're falling asleep, they go through different layers, right? Different frequencies, all right? And as they're in the higher frequencies, the conscious mind goes to sleep, but the body and the mind, right? The subtle mind is still awake. And that's when we can start to get those messages. That's when a lot of that information slips in. A lot of predictive dreams and premonition dreams happen during those times as well. Because it's not only as you're falling asleep, but it's also as you're waking up. We get into that state as well. So Mitch says, why in the last weeks I've always found a white feather. I have 12 now. Does it mean something? So in your case, do all 12 mean something? I highly doubt it, because here's what happens, okay? And this is the same thing when it comes to any sign, repeating numbers, dimes, money, whatever it is you're finding. Yes, our loved ones will use these as signs to let us know that they're around, but it's not them. They're not materializing these things. They're not taking these things and saying, here, I made a dime for you, or I made a feather for you. What they're doing is they know where these feathers or dimes or these things that are the signs that you associate with them. They know where these things are. And when you happen to walk by one, they will nudge you energetically. And it's so subtle that you don't notice it. But with that energetic nudge, you turn, you look in that specific place, and boom, there's the sign that you associate with them, whether it's the repeating number on the clock, the dimes, the feathers, and so forth, okay? Now, with what you're saying here, you've found 12 of them in the last week. You know, this is like the same thing with everybody. You see 1111 every day, or 111 every day, or 444 every day, or you wake up at 5 a.m. every day, or you wake up at 3 a.m. every day. The reason is because when that's happening consistently, it's because we've trained our subconscious mind to look for these things. And subconsciously, right, you can walk by the gas station pump and see in your peripherals without being aware that the number was 444. And then you just happen to look because your subconscious nudges you and says, hey, there's that number that you think is important. And you just look and there it is and you think it's a sign, right? And so if it's happening all the time, it's just that you've trained your subconscious mind to look for these things, right? And then when it finds it, it nudges you and says, here's the thing that you think is so important, all right? And so because I'm a very practical person, it's important that we just don't say, oh, every white feather is a sign. No, maybe some of them were, right? Maybe some of them were. Maybe some of them weren't. The way that you can tell for sure if it's a sign is when you find whatever it is you associate as a sign, you just pause for a minute and bring your awareness to your immediate environment. Just really means just to focus on what's happening around you and feel for an energy. If you feel the energy of your loved one, if you feel the energy of something in there, then you know that was a sign. And then just start connecting and communicating with whatever the energy is that you feel. Right? And so that's the way we want to validate it, right? I never say, oh, here's this sign. It's a sign. So-and-so this thing is happening now. No, I want to validate it and I want to feel the energy and connect and communicate, right? Not to mention, my spirit guides used to do this all the time with me and I would tell them like, look, guys, enough with the cryptic message. Just talk to me, And so that's the way that I would approach any kind of sign. How do you tell who's giving you the nudge? Through the energy, right? If you want to tell who's giving you the nudge, when you feel, right? If you have multiple, what I'm assuming is you're asking, I have multiple loved ones on the other side. How do I know which one is giving me the nudge, the energetic nudge? And the way that you do that is what I was talking about a second ago, is you're going to feel the energy around you and you're going to feel for the personality of your loved one. Each one of your loved ones had a distinct personality, right? They felt different. Right? When you were around each one of them individually, when they were in a physical body, they felt different. Their energy felt different. Their presence being around them felt different. That's what I mean by their presence. And when you get the sign, in order to know who energetically nudged you, you just feel for whose presence it was. You can always ask as well, right? But for those of you that are just kind of starting to figure this out and starting to really understand energy and working with the spirit world, just feel for their presence. So I don't ever remember my dreams. Do I have spirit guides? So I have a couple comments on this. The first thing that I want to address is how to remember your dreams. And then what I'm going to address immediately after that is how to communicate with your spirit guides without dreams. Okay? So one of the best ways to remember your dreams, whether you think they're visitation dreams or premonition dreams or just regular dreams that your subconscious is discharging, is to sleep with a notebook. Like this is for if you guys don't remember your dreams at all. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I didn't dream. I promise you, you did. You just don't remember. So here's the technique. You get a notebook. Before you go to bed, you write the date, okay, the current date at the top of the page. You throw the pen inside the notebook on that page, and then you put the notebook under your pillow or on your bed somewhere, not on the nightstand next to you, not on the floor. It has to be in the bed, all right? And then when you wake up, whenever it is that you wake up, all right, even if it's in the middle of the night, for a split second, as you're like yawning, as you're like stretching, as you're like doing something, you are aware that you had a dream, right? It just happens, it fleets so fast. But the intention of you that you set when you put the notebook in your bed is going to keep that awareness of your dream lingering longer. That's why the second you wake up, before you sit up, before you do anything, you grab that notebook and you just bullet point what you remember of the dream. Believe me, you will remember a lot when you set this intention. And you don't want to write it out. You don't want to journal. You just want to put few bullet points, especially if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're going to go back to bed. Few bullet points, boom, 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 and then give your dream a title, put the notebook back into your bed, and either go back to sleep or go about your day. All right. Then when you have a few, you'll forget that you'll forget. Once you go about your day, you'll forget that you even dreamt. But when you come back and you have time, you just open your notebook, you look at your bullet points, and the entire dream will come back to you. You'll remember it, and then you can journal about it, or then you can journal about it if you want. And we will find a lot of insights in tracking our dreams, okay? And so it is a great tool that you can use. And there's another thing that I do want to mention about this is that if you try this and nothing happens, keep doing it. Consistency matters. If you put the notebook in your bed and the first night nothing happens, do it again. Do it again and it will. Just keep doing it until it happens and you will start to remember your dreams. I've told so many people to do this. People are like, nah, that's not going to work. Nah, this isn't going to happen. I've never had somebody come back and tell me that didn't work. All right, so give it a try. And if within a week you're not writing down your dreams, DM me, email me, spam every single one of my comments telling me it didn't work. All right, you'll be the first one. Okay. Now, the second thing I wanted to address is spirit guides communicating with us in our dreams. I don't like to communicate with spirits in my dreams for really two reasons. Number one is because the first one is because you don't have a lot of control over the dream. It's just an experience. You're just, whatever happens in the dream. You can't really interact with it. It's very vivid and real, but you're not grounded enough to really interact, ask questions, get questions back, follow up on those questions and really interact in a grounded way with the spirit. Okay. And the second reason that I don't like dreams is because we don't need them. We can just communicate directly and go right into it with our loved ones or our spirit guides. We don't have to wait. So if you're trying to set intentions for them to come into your dreams, stop doing that. Just set intentions to talk with them right now and then start talking to them like they're standing right in front of you and keep doing it even when you feel stupid, even when you feel dumb, even when you feel like you're making it up. Keep doing it until you feel something. Most people give up before anything happens. So if you keep going, I promise you something will change. You will feel something. You may even have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful interaction with them, but something will shift to allow you to know that they made contact. It will be undeniable. Just don't stop too early. All right. Thea, thank you for the bullseye heart. Here's a good one. Are there locations in the spirit world that are restricted that we can't communicate with? Absolutely not. The spirit world is a part of this dimension. All dimensions that you hear about out there are interwoven. They're all a part of each other. Everything is here. It's layered. It's not these separate places. It's not higher. It's not lower. It's all right here. It's all part of this. Our third dimension is part of all of these dimensions. There is nothing that is restricted or off limits. We can experience these other dimensions because we exist there as well. Our energy that is in this physical body is just a small portion of who we are. The energy that is in our body, our spirit that is in our body is omnipresent. It extends outside of our body and encompasses all dimensions, all planes of existence, right? It's kind of like dipping your toe in the pool, right? We're dipping our toe in the body, right? In this physical dimension, but we are so much larger than our toe that we're dipping, all right? And in order to experience these other planes and dimensions, we just project our awareness there, right? And I've done quite a few exercises on that, on projecting well, I haven't lately, but I have in the past done quite a few exercises that help you project your awareness into these other dimensions and experience other dimensional beings, see what's happening on other dimensions. And it's really cool. I actually did an experiment where I did it one time. I put out a video. You guys could probably find it, where it went quite viral. I think it got millions of views, where I did an exercise where I brought everybody into the 9th dimension, and there's like tens of thousands of comments, and everybody experienced the same thing, right? Everybody was talking about similar things that were happening: the colors, the beings, the cities, what they were like, the translucent infrastructure. Everybody was talking about the exact same stuff, tens of thousands of comments. And so if you Google that, August Gonsalves 9th dimension, you'll probably find it. So that's a good one. And the reason it works is because we are already there. We're in that dimension right now. And so there is nothing restrictive. There's nothing off limits. Okay, here's another good one. All right, when connecting with the spirit world, should we concentrate on one spirit at a time, or can we talk to multiple spirits at the same time? I would say it depends on your comfort level, right? It really depends on your comfort level. Sometimes it's overwhelming for people. Sometimes we get things mixed up. Sometimes we think that two different spirits are one. And so if you can distinctly tell that there are two spirits there, I mean, yeah, you can have like a conversation like you can have between three people. It is definitely possible. But if you're starting to get confused, if you're starting to get out of the energy, if you're starting to like, I don't know who is who, and things start mixing together, all you do is you just pick, right? We're in control over the experience. We just pick like, hey, let me talk to you first. And then when I get done having my conversation, I'll talk to you. Or if I have any questions, I'll stop talking to you and I'll ask you the question, right? And so we just kind of organize it in that way. CJ says, does your being in pain over their loss, can they feel that? Do they know that you're in pain, sad over them? Absolutely. They feel that, but they don't feel it in the same way they feel with us. They don't feel guilt. They don't feel any kind of negative emotion. What they feel is empathy for you. And when you are going through that, when you are in that pain, they're holding you. They're there with you. Right? The act of thinking of our loved one brings their energy closer. And there's no other time that you are thinking of them more intensely than when you are grieving them, feeling the pain of the loss of their physical presence. And so I want you to know, anytime that happens, it doesn't matter how deep the pain is, they are right there consoling you. They are right there with you, holding space, feeling empathy for you, sending you love. All right? And you can feel the energy, right? It's, grief and the pain comes in waves, right? In waves. When you're at the top of one of those waves, there is absolutely nothing that you can do other than surrender to the pain. Unfortunately, there is nothing. But what happens is when you come off of that wave of pain and it's a little bit less painful, if you bring your awareness to your surroundings, you'll feel them there holding you through that. They don't feel bad that you're in pain. They feel empathy for you. They relate with you. They want you to feel better. They don't want you to feel that way, but it's not, you don't need to feel guilty that you're causing them pain because you're in pain. They just want you to feel better, and they're there to support you through whatever it is you're going through. So on that note, I do want to end it. I hope that really helps you guys. I hope this live helped as well, and any of you guys out there that are really serious about connecting with your loved ones, connecting with the spirit world, or really being able to fully come into your spiritual abilities where you can experience them in a way that is undeniable. I do have spots open in my mentorship program. You can schedule an interview. It's invite only, but the way that you get invited is by first scheduling an interview. You can do that. I think there's a link around here somewhere. If you can't find it, you can go to the link on my page somewhere, and there should be a scheduling link that you can go and book an interview. And so we'll have an interview and we'll talk all about the mentorship program and see how it can help you. All right. And so if that's something you're serious about, that's there for you as well. Other than that, I love you guys. I really appreciate you all hanging out and sticking around on this live with me. We'll connect again real soon.